So welcome back everyone to another discussion video. Today I'm going to talk about a bunch of random shit rather than one really big piece of random shit like we talked about last time. So today on the schedule I have Tetrio Teams Cup Cruise 2. I got it all out. IFT Lockout, the PK Partner Anniversary stream, Azura's birthday stream, a mini topic on top player privilege, and then a personal update on my stream schedule starting next week. So I think a good place to start is for me to find the Battlefy bracket. Pretty big tournament, all things considered. I think we have teams of 3 and we have 32 signed up teams, which is kind of crazy. We head over here to the desktop. So this is big. We take a look at the bracket. Oh, I forgot it's 32 players or teams, so this is like a really nice looking bracket. You guys come up with some names of all time. Okay, so so we have Promo, OJ, and Fortisim in first place. You have OSW, RKY, and Master in second place. And then you have Dormy, Lita, and I think this Osu person who I do not know in third place. And yeah, there was no rank cap, so I think this is one of the first big team tournaments in a while that we've seen without a rank cap. And here we have the stream open. I don't know why I opened the VOD. I wanted to look at some clips. Okay, there are not many clips. Let's watch a spike clip.
Coming strong with that C-spin opener. Not quite as to not getting the PC off, but they're all back-to-back times 7 before having to cancel out.
OSW getting pushed up, but into a 4-wide residue.
OSW's cracked, man. Invest in OSW stocks.
My mind is dying. What the heck?
So the rule set for TTCC2, I got it right, is pretty interesting. So you start with each player having 3 lives. Each time you top out, you lose a life. Each team sends out 1 player to fight the other team's player. The player keeps playing until they have 0 lives. When the player reaches 0 lives, that team's player sends out another player who has lives, but the other player stays the same. If you are a fan of the hit game Super Smash Brothers, you will know what the format is. If you are not a fan of the hit game Super Smash Brothers, you don't. But yeah, crew battles are fun. I think crew battle format is going to be here to stay. It's basically what I wanted to bring up in this discussion. I think that this is going to be a successful format going forward. I think you will see more people doing this in this way. You have IFT Trio, which I believe operates differently than this. But I think this specific way of playing Team Tetris for more than 2 players is going to be the way it happens from now on. I just think it's the most solid way to do it. It's the best way to incorporate all 3 of your players without an actual 3v3 mode. It's going to be the way. I think crew battles are the future for teams tournaments. Like, I'm being genuinely honest. This tournament was a popular tournament. It is the most popular tournament we've had in a while that wasn't from a flagship organizer. This tournament had over like 120 viewers at one point, which for a teams tournament is really good. I think it might be the most viewed teams tournament since Over Under. I forgot how my old Tetrio doubles tournament performed, but I think it's the most viewed teams tournament since Over Under was created. And it's one of the most played. I think an experience like this can still be fun for people who aren't like particularly high skilled compared to the other team. And yeah, the OG TTC rule set is very interesting, though that is much more gimmicky than this. I guess the point that I'm trying to get at is that this works. Like, the crew battle format is a very working thing. And like, it's very like legit. Whereas the other one's like in a free for all lobby. And while it is an interesting format, it's due to how it works, it's inherently a bit less competitive. But this fucking works. Like, crew battle works. And yeah, also, Cowboy talking about commentary on 6 boards at one time. Yeah, good luck. An interesting comment from Mitsu here saying, I feel like it'd be better if Tetrio added teams mode. My next point that I wrote up in my Discord was that I really want that to happen. Because as you all know, the only real teams format that we have right now, well, we have 2 real teams formats. You have PPT doubles, which I still think is the best teams mode that we have in Tetris. I think PPT doubles will stay the most interesting. It's not going to get topped. And then under it, you have Gestrous doubles. Gestrous doubles is real doubles. It's real 2v2. You're playing on real teams, and you're actually playing at the same time. The problem is, to have a watchable, runnable tournament, you have to use Gestrous Plus, which is an extension. And Gestrous Plus is great. It's just that sometimes it doesn't work. Gestrous' website UI scaling is absolute hot garbage. If you watch MCDT Anniversary 3, which I produced, you'll understand what I mean. I had to continuously keep recropping every single one of my scenes, depending on how long someone's username was. It was a nightmare. I think PPT doubles is the most interesting with both Tetris, both Puyo, or Puyo and Tetris, as my personal opinion. I think at a certain point, if you're watching a speed uncapped game in doubles, you will reach a point where it is too hard to follow. It's still interesting, but you will be able to take more of the game in if you're watching a delay game in a team's format, if you get what I mean. It can already be a lot to take in watching one 1v1 set, you know? But I think Puyo plus Tetris doubles is so cool. It's the only doubles or teams format we have right now with real interaction, meaning like you can build a strategy in your game field. You can choose if your Puyo or your Tetris is attacking and defending. You can coordinate when you're sending chains and attacks. It's the only thing we have right now with interaction and strategy, I think, as Itchy said. Or it's the closest thing we have to it. And then after that, you have something like a crew battle, if you feel me. TEC doubles would be really interesting, especially if it's like real doubles. I think that would be crazy if, like, you know, you have the format where you do the combined zone like in connected mode, and that's how you're sending zone attacks. That would be really cool. I'd love to see something like that. Does TC only have versus in the boss mode? So you have zone battle, score attack, classic score attack, and then connected versus, and connected is not PvP. Combined zone would be wild and double. Yeah. That would become the most interesting doubles mode, I think. Though I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think PPT will be eclipsed. PPT is still the most interesting teams tournament. Thinking about what we have now, the best teams format on Tetrio is definitely Crews. If you're playing teams in Tetrio, Crews is the best format. It's the best way to get your whole team involved. It's fun to watch. Like, I think that this format, getting a platform, you know, getting a banner tournament and getting a lot of views and being on a Saturday primetime slot was a really good choice by Tatos. It really showed people how fun the format could be. The last tournament was relatively small compared to this one. I think there were only 8 crews in that one compared to 32 in this one. There were a lot more players coming out for this TTCC. Dear God. But yeah, Tatos did a good job with this one. Please pick some more muted colors in your graphic design. Tatos, I'm begging you. The worry I had with crew battles is how top heavy the teams would be if you became a staple with prize pools. I think if you're in a big open community and you're running teams tournaments, you kind of you can't avoid that. How you can avoid that is just by running more over-under styled events. So you give You give a more competitive tournament and a more casual tournament. I can also see events ran in the future in the style of a Tetrio Journey Retribution, where you have a rank capped bracket and a rank uncapped bracket. Let's say you have a rank capped doubles bracket and an uncapped cruise bracket. I think that event could very well exist in the next 6 months if someone plans it. And the main person I think is going to be running stuff like that is Tatos. So Tatos, use my idea. You will be successful. Best team would be CZ, Blarg, and Diao, and the fourth best team would be people in the 20th, 30th range. It just wouldn't be close. That is a problem with the kind of skill floor and ceiling we just have in the game, and that's not a problem we can exactly solve. But I think like we saw in this tournament, we're gonna end up with a lot of people who end up playing with their friends. I think you'll see more of that at the end of the day. I just think that will fall into place, if you understand what I mean. Like, I think the only time where you see big coordination for a team like that happening is if you have like $1,000 prize pool. I think we're in a solid spot for teams tournaments. I think stuff's looking good. I think we've landed on a pretty good format that works, and from now on, I think we're gonna see more crew battle events. Not even just in PPT, or not fucking PPT. Not even just in Tetrio. I think we'll see it in PPT. I've actually had a lot of demand to make a crew battle PPT event. So one thing I will promise for you is you will see a crew battle PPT event from me. And seeing an event like this on TEC would be really interesting. You'd have to fuck with the match lengths a lot. You'd definitely have to play like first to threes or first to twos. But I'd still want to try it. So who knows what you'll see. Hopefully some people come with some good stuff. Got a question from Cowbow. Edge, how would you balance teams tournaments so lower ranks can play with higher ranks? For example, in TTC Crews, if there's someone below X, they're kind of not useful. A crew battle event with rank balancing, unless you rank cap the whole bracket. If you run a Tetra Olympic style crew battle event, I think that's the way you'd accomplish it. That's just what I think we'd do. And CTL is kind of a whole different thing because your player pool is so limited compared to an open event. Like, we could run a Tetra Olympic style crew team event for just fucking everyone, but I don't think you can do that with CTL. As I said earlier, someone have to inform me on how CTL works because I don't know how it works. I haven't watched it. So I'd have to be informed. And then the other way to make tournaments work for lower players is the over-under and 2x2 format, which I do not think should die because certain times Smurfs are not checked completely correctly. First off, I fucking hate people who are Smurf, man, but I know it's not going to stop. I did a whole hour discussion video on that already for any new viewers, so you can find that on my YouTube channel. I had an entire talk grilling people who fucking Smurf for being, like, bad people. Yeah, it's just like UC has spent so much time honing technology and honing staff members to detect them, whereas teams like myself and Renges do not have that. And over time, I think we'll be able to build it up. But yeah, those are my basic ideas on balancing a team's tournament. Is you either have to rank cap the whole bracket for crews, because you can't balance a crew bracket unless you do that, honestly, or you run the OU format, and those are the two ways I think you bump lower ranks up in a team tournament. But I think a lot of crew events will be opens. I think you'll see decent team distribution like you saw in this tournament. I don't think any players will high stack. I guess my bit on lockout would be we need to use it. We need to use the setting more and actually test it, cuz I still haven't played Tetrio in 5 months, and it'll probably stay that way. I'm enjoying not playing Tetris right now. I like talking about Tetris and interacting with the community. I'm doing just fine not playing it. But yeah, my base on IFT lockout is it's cool that we're testing this setting. I hope we see more testing. And that's what I think. I fucking forgot what I was gonna talk about next. Okay. Gimmick tournaments. I guess I'll touch on that before I talk about the PK Partner Anniversary stream. I like gimmick tournaments a lot. I think they are another good way to cater to dedicated pros. They're fun to watch. They're fun to commentate. They're just fun. I don't think we should stop doing them. I think IFT is great, because that is what they focus on. IFT has a specialty of gimmick tournaments, and they run them well. Anyways, PK Partner Anniversary. We've had it for a year, and that's kind of crazy. March 8th, I think, is the day. March 7th or March 8th. It's been crazy. I still am appalled that I have a partner channel in the first place. Which is probably thanks to all of you guys. I'm sure most of you were watching during that period, if you're watching me now. So, just thank you so much for being the people who were there and made all that possible. And I hope everyone enjoyed that anniversary stream. It was really fun to do. Telling people more stuff about me and the organization. Everyone who's in the voice chat was talking seemed to enjoy it. One idea that's been floated around is that we do a PK community night every week, where we'll just hop on with some more casual stuff so people can get to know members of staff more, rather than just like PK people. Like you can, like it's just an easier gateway for people to learn more about our folks, because they're all great, and it just gives us an excuse to make some content while not having to worry about Tetris or any of that. So I just wanted to quickly touch on it. Stay tuned, because we're considering doing more of that in the future. I think it'll be a great time. I've got another more content oriented thing I want to talk about, which just happened yesterday. For anyone who's not aware, like the rest of us humans, Azure Horizons has a birthday, and that day was yesterday. Though if you're watching this, you were certainly aware of that, and I don't even need to tell you. I could have just said what happened. I could have just said I'm talking about what happened yesterday, and you would have figured out what I was speaking of. There's this Discord server that I forgot who put together. It was Flower Petal and a couple other people with like 100 people in it, called Operation Cute. The goal of this this underground community ring was simple. By the way, they planned this motherfucker for like 3 months, which is crazy. Dedicated community. A team of mathematicians calculated how to use roughly, let's just give a ballpark number, 350,000 or so channel points. It probably is more like 500,000 on Azura's channel, to make her admit that she's cute. Lore behind this is she had a channel point reward that was worth roughly, it started at 2 billion, it got knocked down to 1.6 or something by the time the stream happened. Which it was called something along the lines of, I'll finally admit I'm cute. It was a sentence, I forgot the exact words, but you get the point. I got invited relatively recently, but as I am fucking busy, I forgot to fill out the Google form. This is just a fucking classic for me. But I'm sure Zara already knows everything I would have had to say. definitely one of the most talented people we have in the community as far as production, the time that they're willing to give up to commit to various different events no matter their size. It's an admirable quality. Also just great at curating and creating content. But yeah, big shout outs to Azura. This year will only get better, and then this year they might start planning Operation Q2 6 months in advance instead of just 3. Edge knows the truth that they started planning today and are tricking us. I know nothing, man. Like, I heard about this lately and I was like, oh, alright. But, I didn't know much about the scale of the operation until relatively recently. But yeah, I watched a bit of everything yesterday, while planning some Monkey Ball speedrun stuff. So I was just lurking around. I dropped my Twitch sub. You know how it goes. But I think it is very cool when we see our community come together for people. I love that shit, man. I love seeing this. So many cool people pitched into this. So big shout outs if you watched yesterday or were a part of Operation Q. It is a cool idea. And I love when we can come together for shit like that isn't necessarily representative of like a specific tournament or game or event. We're just rallying behind a person. I love that. It's so cool. We often talk about the bad things about the community and what people think is bad about this community, but let's just think about good shit, you know? Let's just think about the good shit. And this is a good thing. This was a cool thing. So I wanted to spend time highlighting it, cuz last week we were like bickering and we were talking about shit that people didn't like. So I figured this week let's talk about cool stuff. Like that was just what I was thinking for this time. Next week you go back to negative stuff. I don't know what we'll talk about next week. I still have to figure it out. Like, until I started committing, like, I want to do a discussion video every week, I did not know how hard this would fucking be. I think good balanced content like this is good. Yeah, every week I want to do this. I want to record it every Tuesday night, upload it every Wednesday, about 6 to 8 p.m. Get guest speakers on and steal the... So, Ichilo, I don't want to turn this into a more formal podcast, really. It's not what I'm looking to do. I've always thought of this idea as a more of me and chat thing. I have toyed around with the idea of having a co-host, but I would never have guests. I would just say I'd have someone else who comes on and speaks with me on certain topics. And that's the most I do for this series. This is more supposed to be a chill, low-key thing. Talking Pieces is still a thing that exists, and it will be coming back this year. And I want to save my more podcasty ideas for that. We're just talking about random shit here. It's just kind of like a weekly recap. Stuff that happens, stuff that people are curious about. I talk about it. And that's kind of the point.